Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. Today was a good day. We had Bitcoin in the green, miners in the green as well. Dollar was dumping. PPI results came in pretty good here, so we got quite a few things to talk about. But we'll obviously talk about miners, Bitcoin as well. We'll talk about should I add Cango or not, which is a Chinese company that does also mining. We'll look at the PPI and dollar down. Is it good for BTC? We'll look at the latest crypto survey in the United States. It's actually pretty good. And then we'll also take a look at the institutions buying or selling here recently on the miners in the last month and 6 months review on it as well. We'll look at the analyst price targets for the highs, how far the miners are still away from that, and what percentage that's going to be for us. So we got quite a few things to go over. So you guys know the drill. Not financial advice. We're team only. Do your own research as always. Full disclosure below that as always. Something new that I'm doing here right now. Let me know if you guys like this or not, where we have the markets kind of all up in one screen here. We can always go back to the trading view page where I normally would do this. But we can see here, obviously, that Bitcoin was up today. It's down a little bit here in the new day, but it was up nicely today. Ethereum was down. Solana was also down. Oh, it's down now, but it was up in the green here today. And the nice thing about these charts here, when you see the charts here, the green actually represents that they're still in the green over the last year from where they were. If they're in the red, they're obviously at a new low for the year, at 52 weeks basically. So we can see that. Also, we have the Dow Jones was up nicely today, 1.6%. NASDAQ was up 1.67 also. S&P was up 1.76. So a good day in the markets. Then we had the dollar. Obviously, dollar is dropping. It's below $100 now. It's 99.8. So that's coming down. We'll talk about a story about that here in a second as well. WTI, which is crude. Crude's down a little. Well, crude was actually up today, 2% roughly. So it's back up above $60 here. And then gold continues to get to new all-time highs. It was up almost 2% as well on the day. So kind of interesting to see that. Gold obviously has been doing really well here this past year. You can see that on the chart as well. WTI has been falling this whole last year, which is good. We need prices to come down on gasoline and everything else. And then dollar coming down, I think that's mostly because of the trade. Everything else is going on there, the tariffs, all that stuff. What else do we have here? We talked about the S&P. Those are still in the green here for the year. Everything looks good there. And then we got the miners as well. Here's the list of miners, right? We got 10 of them here. So BitDeer was up 4.6%. It's in the green here still in the last 52 weeks. Bitfarms is in the red for 52 weeks, from 52 weeks. It was up today 3.38%. Cypher was up 9% today, had a really good day. That one is actually down on the 52 weeks. Cleanspark was up 5.19%. It's in the red for the 52 weeks. Had you bought back then, you're in the red. CORZ was up nicely today, 3.67%. Hive was up 3.5%. Hut 8 was up 3.67%. IREN was up 2.5%. Mara was up 6.5%. Riot was up 3.98%. MicroStrategy was up 10%. MicroStrategy has outperformed all those guys here. MicroStrategy is still in the green there since last year, basically. So let me know if you guys like these kind of charts better than when we go into like the trading view here. We can always go into the trading view as well. One just shows us all the stuff that's happening on the chart. We can always do that. Look into it as well if you guys have any questions on it. So we can do that also. But I figured just have it all consolidated in one spot would be kind of better than going through each one of these here individually. But we can do that if you guys have any questions. Well, when we get in the Q&A, if you guys have questions about a stock or something like that, we can always jump into here to look at it. So there's the markets overall, more or less. The other thing that we have to talk about is April. We're actually in the green here. We're up 0.71% on Bitcoin here. And Bitcoin actually dominance here is inching up. We're almost at 63% Bitcoin dominance here. It was a good day in crypto overall. A couple of things that were in the red, but mostly we were in the green here today. So it was a good day nonetheless on it. Going back here, we can see Bitcoin ETF inflows. Let's take a look at that really quick as well. It looks like, yeah, we had another negative day here today, but things were going up. So that's looking good there. All right, let's get into the next thing that we have really quick, which is going to be on Cango. I had somebody ask if I would include Cango going forward in one of the posts from yesterday about the live stream, asking if I would include or if I'm including Cango in that. What did we talk about yesterday? Jeez, I'm drawing a blank right now. We talked about, the miners' performance for March and things like that, and other things. So I replied to him. I don't have a reply here, but I basically replied to him. I'm keeping an eye on them just to see how they're doing. I want to see some more data from them, like a quarterly result at least, to see what is their cost to mine, what is their profit margins like, things like that. to then see if it's worth it, right? Chinese-based companies I'm hesitant to include. And then I did a poll here today with you guys, and we have about 140 votes right now. And 37, almost 38% of you said to include it, and 62% overwhelmingly said not to include it. So almost 63% there are against it. So I'm going to keep it out for now, but we will keep an eye on it, see how it does going forward. You know, once we get some more data and things like that. So we shall see on that one. Okay. Next story that we have here is Bitcoin holds 82,000 as US dollar falls to 3-year low and PPI inflation drops sharply. PPI coming down was good today. Dollar falling was also maybe good for Bitcoin. Excuse me. And here's what we have. So developing bull market signals could continue to boost Bitcoin price despite the tense atmosphere of the U.S. trade war. We do have that going on right now. On that, that's obviously a lot of volatility in the markets here. But analyst says PPI undershoot, great for U.S. trade war, which might be good. The index came in at 2.7 versus the anticipated 3.3, while the core PPI print also surprised to the downside, so that was good. This is like the first time that we've had this since basically, I think, March of last year or something like that, where the PPI actually came down here. Reacting Trading Resources resourced the Kobesai letter was among those noting the rapid pace at which the U.S. inflation appeared to be slowing down, so that's good. We just saw the first month-over-month decline in PPI inflation, down 0.4% since March of 2024. It told followers in the part of a post on X. So that's good. Now, what is that going to mean for us in Bitcoin? Well, I think that might mean good things for us here. Right, both CPI and PPI inflation are down sharply. Going down here, as Cointelegraph reported, long-term lows on DXY have historically sparked a delayed BTC price bull run. So that kind of coincides with what we're seeing elsewhere, where if we take the M2 supply also and offset that by 100 some odd days, we get a pretty close correlation between Bitcoin and M2 supply. So that might be happening here for us coming up into later on in April into May as well. And then traditionally DXY going down is very bullish for BTC. We now have a massive bearish divergence for DXY, which may suggest it goes to 90. Popular crypto analyst venture founder observed in part of an X post on this topic this week. Last 2 times this happened triggered a Bitcoin parabolic bull run in final phase of the bull market lasting 12 months. So I'm all for this. If this happens, if this plays out that way, that would be wonderful. And Bitcoin obviously can definitely go up higher here. We'll see where it goes. But this is all good news. This is what, well, we don't want the dollar going down too much, but still going down, meaning Bitcoin's going to go up, meaning the miners will go up as well. Those are all good things here. Next story, really quick here, is a survey that I just saw here on Crypto Slate. This was not done by them, it was done by another firm, but this is actually really good. This shows us the adoption of Bitcoin is actually happening here, which is always good, which is what we want. So the survey reveals 1 in 5 Americans own crypto, with 76% reporting personal benefit. So I'm sure maybe you guys can attest to this as well. I mean, you guys might be in crypto, I'm in crypto, and it has been a benefit in the long run. As long as you hold on to it and don't sell, and you get into good things. Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the top ones, right? You don't get into some of the crappy altcoins. But roughly 55 million in U.S. adults currently own crypto, and substantially majority of them say digital assets have improved their lives, according to the 2025 State of Crypto Holders Report commissioned by the National Cryptocurrency Association. The survey conducted by the Harris Poll found that about 21% of U.S. population owns crypto, and 76% of holders believe their experience with digital assets has had a positive personal impact. That's definitely a lot higher from where it was in the past that we've seen here, mainly because of scams and people not being educated on how to properly store their crypto and everything else. So the wheels are turning and people are starting to make these decisions here and doing it the right way where they're not getting scammed also. The survey revealed that 60% of holders were under 45 years of age, while 15% were over the age of 55, considerably different from a few years ago when those over the age of 45 were represented in a single-digit percentage. Wow. So it isn't, right, not only the older generation, I could be put into that as well. In my high 40s, but yeah, it's nice to see that that is adopting and it's going in the right direction. I think with the ETFs, everything else, that's helping get the word out. And then meanwhile, gender disparity is also falling, with women accounting for 31% of crypto holders compared to men accounting for 67% of holders. Ownership also grew across all income levels, with households earning less than $75,000 annually now accounting for 26% of crypto-owning households. The report highlighted that the low bar of entry had helped adoption in the lower income groups, which I agree, right? A lot of people were getting into, these not ETFs, they were those, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now. But the craze on the monkeys and the apes, right? All those things, not ETFs, I want to say ETFs, but it's not ETFs. NFTs, there we go, NFTs, non-fungible tokens. People got into that. People got into also Bitcoin, Ethereum, other coins, things like that. So that is definitely expanding here. And beyond investment, the report highlighted that crypto use is not limited to investment. About 39% of holders use it to make purchases, and 96% of those do so at least once a year. Additionally, 31% use crypto to send money to family or friends, and 31% accept it as payments in business transactions. So that's actually pretty interesting, and that's getting higher than where it was also. Love seeing that. And yeah, I mean, if you can use crypto to send it over to friends and family in other countries, you're better off doing that than going through one of the brokers. What's the one? Telegram, not the Telegram. What's the other one? The one that have the business locations. I can't remember the name. Currency exchanges. You're better off doing that because you're paying a lot less in fees. So this goes more towards your family and things like that to help them out. Excuse me. The most commonly known tokens include Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. However, actual usage is concentrated in smaller group, with Bitcoin held or used by 85% of the respondents, while Ethereum was held or used by 58%. So Bitcoin is the dominant force here. And we can see that with Bitcoin taking a lot of the market share away from everything else, right? 62% is Bitcoin dominance right now. So that's always something to be mindful of. And then myriad of profiles, while concerns remain particularly around scams, volatility, and tax complexities, only 3% of holders reported negative experience. Out of the 3% negative experience, about 30% involved fraud or security breaches, so a lot lower than it has been in the past, I think, which is also a good thing. Meanwhile, 49% of respondents said crypto increased their financial independence, and 45% reported personal growth due to their engagement with the asset class. The more you know, the more educated you become, the more you can possibly do financially better, right? So those are all good things here. And I just want to point this out to you guys because this bodes well for the adoption of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as well. And we love seeing that. At least I love seeing that this is happening going forward. We need adoption, whether it's through the public, through governments, things like that. We need adoption, and these are all great things here. All right, so that's it on the news stories that I have for you guys today. Let's get into the institution side of things. Are institutions buying here recently in the last month and last 6 months? Last 6 months, we can say yes for sure. Last month, it's going to be a little bit of a different story here. So institutional buying 1 and 6 month here. We look at, on this side, it's going to be 6 months. This side is going to be 1 month data. So we're looking at price right now, difference from 6 months ago on the stocks. A lot of these guys are down quite a bit here. The only one that's kind of outperforming here a little bit is BitDeer. It's up 5.58%. Worst performer here right now is Hive, down 59%, followed by Bitfarms, Cypher, CORZ Scientific, IREN, Cleanspark, Marathon, Riot, and Hut 8. Shares added, you can see that Cypher had the most shares added here in the last 6 months, about 135 million shares being bought up by institutions, followed by CORZ Scientific, 83 million here, Riot, 64 million as well. After that, we're looking at probably Marathon, 45, and Cleanspark at 43 million shares. So even with these guys coming down, Cypher, is down 55%, but had a huge increase in the number of institutions here in the last 6 months. On that one, price difference from last month. So we're looking basically when we did this, and we're looking at data from the beginning of March basically to now, where we are on it. We can see price difference from 1 month ago. Bitfarms is down the most, about 27%, 28% roughly. I should have updated this really quick. It looks like things changed on me here when I updated the pricing on these guys. But Cypher's down 20%, BitDeer down 23%, IREN down 21%, CORZ down 19%, Hive down 14%, Riot down about 10%, Marathon down 5%, Cleanspark down about 6%, Hut 8's down the least, about 4%, 3.5% roughly. And we had one of them, Hive, had the only decrease in the number of shares from institutions. So they actually decreased the number of shares there last month for them. Everybody else had a more or less of an increase here, with the most sizable increase was from CORZ Scientific, where about 1.6 million shares were added. on that one. The lowest got 320,000 shares added by institutions. So institutions are still more or less buying. We're seeing a decrease in this at least. Last time we did this last month, the shares added month over month were much higher. We were at like 30 and 40 million ranges for some of these guys, whereas now we're seeing in the single millions and sub 1 million levels as well. But they're still increasing here. With the miners going down, I thought we were going to see possibly a little bit more decreases or some selling in by the institutions, but we're not seeing that at least right now. Going down here, here's percentage owned by institutions. CORZ Scientific is 90% owned by institutions. Cypher 68%, Marathon 64%, Hut 8 62, Riot 60, Cleanspark 58, IREN 52%, Hive 27, Bitfarms 29, and BitDeer 26%. So a lot of these guys have a lot of institutional ownership in them right now. Here is the analyst high price targets changes from 6 months ago. We had Cleanspark, actually Cleanspark goes to last month. They changed the high price target for them by a decrease of $3. Cypher was down $2 in the last 6 months. Riot down $1. Bitfarms down 50 cents. Core actually got an increase of $1. Hive went up $2. Marathon up $3. Hut 8 actually went up $13 in the last 6 months. And BitDeer up 14. In the last month, though, we have a lot of them that are basically just flat. No analyst changes on them. Cypher, Riot, IREN, Core, Hive, and BitDeer all flat. Nothing changed there. Bitfarms, like I said, down $1.50 here. Just in the last month. Cleanspark down $3. Hut 8 by the analyst is down 6, and Marathon is down 13 right now. And then here you can see all the numbers for the different amounts of institutional investors that are in each company right now. Going down here, we have analyst high price difference from the current stock value. So what is the high price target for them? Where's the stock now? What's the difference between the two? And we can see that BitDeer has the biggest difference here at $23, followed by Hut at $22 difference between where the stock is and where the analysts are. Same for the high price target. IREN down $20 difference. Cleanspark almost 19.5. Marathon 17.5 roughly. Core 17. Riot 16 difference here. Hive is off by 9.5. Cypher 6.5, Bitfarms $3.70, right? And then here's the analyst high price target difference from the current stock value and percentage-wise. So if the analyst expectations come true, where these things go, Hive would have possibly the highest gains, about 700% gain, followed by Bitfarms 560% gain, IREN 460, BitDeer 390, Cypher 370, Cleanspark 360, Core 340, Riot 325, Hut 8 287% gains, Marathon 239 to get to those analyst targets for them. Current stock price, this is based off of that, what we're using as of today, right? What were their actual price targets here? We can see that actually down here, which should be up. So Core high price target is $24, Cypher $9, Marathon $30, Hut 8 $35, Riot $23, Cleanspark $27, IREN $26, Hive $11. Bitfarms $4.5, and BitDeer $31. So institutions are still buying in. There's still plenty of space to grow for these guys to get to the analyst targets. We'll see if they can get to it, right? Depending on, I guess, where Bitcoin goes and everything else. But that's the data as of this month here that we have on these guys. It's kind of nice to take a look at it to see where institutions are going into or what they're getting out of. And I'm a little surprised that they're getting out of Hive here, especially with the number of exahash that Hive has planned here for the next basically 2 quarters, getting from 6 exahash to roughly 25 exahash by the end of the 3rd quarter. I'm surprised that they're selling there. Maybe they're thinking dilution is going to be happening there. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But that seems a little crazy to me at this point. But we'll see what we have for next month, right? Will we see more selling here based on what's happening in the markets right now in April? That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. All right, but that's it. That's all I got for you guys. All of this stuff, all of this data, metrics, charts, everything is available to my Patreon members. I greatly appreciate all of you guys' support there. Link to that is down in the description if you want to join. It's a couple bucks a month, and you get a bunch of data points like this one, along with a slew of other things. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Let's get into Q&A, see what you guys have to say, and we'll call it a day. Let me go here. This is where I want to go. All right. Questions. Let's see what we got as far as questions. As always, if you could preface those with a Q or question mark. I'm going to roll up here a little bit and then work my way down. Okay. Manu says, Trueflation with 45-day offset predicted the 2.4% CPI print. Ah, interesting. Okay. All right. Rogue Koala says, liking the new miner layout. So you're talking about this over here, looking at the charts. Okay, right? If you guys enjoy this, we'll do this instead of the other way. Kind of makes it a little bit quicker to go through, I think, also. So, yeah. All right, just trying to streamline some things here. Chris says Cango is a scam. I heard, yeah. I mean, it's tough to figure them out. I know that they were buying machines from Bitmain, but they don't own any infrastructure. It's all hosted, right? So it's probably going to be higher costs. And I'm trying to figure out what is their exahash efficiency or joules per terahash efficiency. How many machines do they actually have? What's the terahash per machine on average? It'd be nice to know all those things here. They are providing monthly updates, which is one of my requirements, but I still need to find out a little bit more data, and then, maybe eventually we'll pull them in as well. JCD, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. Let me ask, is there any point to any miner metrics or miners' performance no matter what the miners will dump? Well, yeah, I mean, depending when you look at it, right? You always have to look at a time frame. If you bought in when the miners bottomed out, you're probably doing really well. If you bought them when they were higher, you're probably not doing that great. So it just depends on when you get into it. The miner metrics helped me get into Cleanspark and IREN as well, pretty early on. So I'm still in the green on those. That, I think, helps in there, right? But time will tell if they actually bounce back up to where we think they do. Mali, yeah, we just talked about that. Hopefully you caught that. We did. Institutions are still buying, but a lot less than what we saw here, at least the prior month and prior months before that as well. Let's see. I'm trying to find another question here. Let's see. Manu says, Semtabar said we prefer to have data centers with clients signed up. Speculative build-outs are based on hope, not a business strategy, assuming that was a dig on the Bitfarms is doing. Well, not only on Bitfarms, it's a dig on IREN, Cypher, Riot. That'll be a dig on those guys, right? And that's right. They did come out with a press release that they're buying data sites in Quebec, I think like 5 megawatts or something like that, today. I forgot to put this in. I was going to put that in, but I forgot about it. I saw that earlier today. So, I mean, yeah, they're going small, but they're expanding and getting customers there. They're getting these kind of smaller data center sites, and it seems to be working for them. All right. At what price will BTC be, or what price BTC? At what BTC price will IREN be at 20? Well, IREN being where it's at right now, IREN's at currently, where are they at? 563. You're looking at roughly a 4x increase on those guys. What's it going to take? I think Bitcoin's going to go to, 175,000, whatever it might be. At that point, we might be getting close to it, I would think. Right? So if Bitcoin does at least a 2x, I would expect the miners to do at least a 3x here going forward, but you just never know. Let's see, Gary says, if we add Cango, we need to add 145 tariff to the results. Yeah, I mean, depending where they're, well, it doesn't really matter, right? But yeah, we got tariffs with China, 145%. We'll see how that plays out. Andre says, miners are dead money. Nothing will change in the future. You just need to look at past performance from this cycle. Better off in MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy has performed better this cycle. Yes, I will give you that. But the cycle's not over yet. So let's see where we end up at the end of the cycle. And then we can, criticize, critique all we want. And I'll be the first to admit if I was wrong. IREN will never be 20. Well, you never know. All right, Eska's got a question here. What happens when BTC dominance reaches peak? Usually it peaks around 65 to 70. Currently it is at 63, 75. Yeah, depending on which chart you look at. So I'm showing like 62, almost 63. What's going to happen at that point? That might be maybe the local top here at least. If we had an extended cycle, we don't know what's going to happen with it. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Every day with Mommy and Moon has a question here. So many miners drop 70% like we are in a bear market. Have there been insiders selling? There have been some selling, but it's based on stocks being granted to them. They sell a portion of it to pay the taxes on it. So that we've seen that. There have been companies that have been buying. I think Bitfarms has been buying. Who else has been buying? I think some folks at CORZ have been buying as well. But yeah, not a lot of that happening actually right now. I thought we would see possibly more. But the 70% drop that we've seen here right now is unprecedented a little bit, with Bitcoin being only down 30-some odd percent from the top. So they definitely got kicked in the groin a lot harder than Bitcoin did. If you follow Bach, he has been saying melt up, but how long will it last before recession? Yeah, I follow Bach as well. A great guy there on X. Definitely follow him. I don't have his Twitter handle right now. I'd give it out if I did. But I do follow Bach, and I kind of agree with him. I think based on what we're seeing here with the DX going down, everything else that's happening, I think we will start running up here potentially. But where are we going as far as price is concerned? I'd be happy by the end of the year if we get to 150,000, right? If we get higher than that, that'd be great. If we continue to have maybe an extended cycle next year, we could go up higher even than that. I don't know. We'll witness it and experience it once we are going through it, I guess. But it's already looking like a different cycle altogether that we've had in the past, just with everything that's happened here. So we shall see. All right, let's see if we got any other questions. It doesn't look like we have any other questions. Friday night, almost 1 o'clock here. I think we will call it a day. SK, I think, has something else to add. Oh, let me pop this on when it comes in here. All right, got a couple questions here. John has a question. My average cost on Cypher is 350. What do they need to turn things around? Obviously, I need to add. I think, well, with them, it's just getting some kind of a deal for HPCI business there is big for them. The other part of it, a lot of their growth is going to be happening here in the second half of the year. They're working on finishing up sites right now. If they can do that and grow their hash rate and then get some kind of a, HPC customer, potentially. We don't know what that's going to be. But then we need to do those things, I think. Bitcoin needs to also go up right now, I think. The miners and the miners that have HPCI ambitions, they've been beaten down actually more than like the pure play miners here recently, which is kind of strange in a way as well, because they were pumping last year, more so than regular miners. All right, SK says, I have a gut feeling that Bitcoin will follow the M2 money supply and will go above 175 soon, and miners will follow suit. April second half to June will be bullish. Okay. I mean, that's kind of the same thing that I'm seeing here. If Bitcoin follows, like it has been following here at least recently, the M2 supply, and it's offset by 100 some odd days, then yeah, I mean, it looks like we might be going up. And that would be great. We would definitely love to see that. He just says, Wood, Friday night, couldn't take a shower. I hope it's not your only shower that you're taking during the week. Let's see. Northeast Pennsylvania is a hotspot for potential data centers. Guess where Bitfarms partner Creek is located north? Yeah. That might have some good things there. Well, time will tell on that one. And then, let's see here. What is your take on Cleanspark escape velocity? They talk about it. Are they talking about escape velocity, meaning that getting to scale, basically, I think? They also are not diluting shares right now, so I think that's maybe a benefit to them. Well, it should be a benefit to them right now because you're not having sell pressure on the stock. But that should be taken into consideration here going forward, where they are, where they're getting to as far as exahash. They're one of the best miners here as far as mining, one of the lowest costs. I think they're second in next to IREN as far as costs are concerned for mining. So they're in a really good spot. Getting to scale and getting past maybe even 50 some odd exahash. Maybe they can get to 60 exahash, right, this year later on. So those will all be good things where I think it might help with the escape velocity for them. Maybe. Let's see. You need to congregate with some other apes. Yeah, spend time with the family, friends, whatever you got going on. Let's see. Funding operations by selling some and holding at the same time. Well, Cleanspark here, at least this past year, has been nothing but mostly hodl, right? They have done that in the last cycle where they actually sold into the bull run. We might see that happening again. I'm fine with that. I don't want them selling everything, but a good portion of it I think would be fine. That way they can fund the operations, that way dilute less. I think that would be a good thing. All right. What do you think about the Bitfarms and their prospects going forward? Ben seems like he is doing the right thing. I do think he's doing the right thing. It took him a while to turn the ship, right? When he took over, they were mostly going into like Latin America for data centers for Bitcoin mining. And when he took over, they're kind of turning the ship. They sold a site in Paraguay to Bitfarms, not to Hive. I thought that was maybe good. Getting more into the United States, I think, is also good. So I think they're doing the right things. It's just going to take some time for that to get all worked out. They also have, McGuire there investing in them, or giving them a loan or investing. I can't remember exactly, but it's like 50 million right now, and then they have options to get to another 250 million on top of that. So those are all good things here. I think that's going to bode well for them if they can do the HPCI part of it as well in there. They got some things they got to do regulatory wise to make sure that they can do those things first. Let's see. Mind you, retail investing like apes, while smart money does the opposite. Yeah, I mean, we go in sometimes hard on these things, don't we? All right, that is it. That's all I see here as far as questions, comments, or anything like that. But we'll see what happens over the weekend. Hopefully Bitcoin does not go like it did last weekend where we were down big. By the end of the weekend, hopefully it stays flat more or less. We don't have any CME futures gaps happening on Monday. And we'll talk about on Sunday how the miners did this past week against Bitcoin and anything else that's popping up or any other metrics that I can pull up for you guys. All right, so that is it. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Hope you guys enjoy it. Spending the time with your family. Go outside, do whatever you can, get away from the stress that is crypto, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin miners and everything else. So wish you guys all the best. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Thank you so much for coming in as always. Love you all. I'll see you guys on Sunday.